You've been told a story repeated so often that it starts to feel like fact. It says that faith and intelligence don't belong in the same room, that to think deeply you have to leave God behind, that science has all the answers, and belief is just a leftover from a less educated past. And maybe, without even realizing it, you've started to believe that story. Maybe late at night, when the noise of the world finally fades, when success stops being a distraction, when your phone is finally silent, the question returns. Is this all there is? Does God actually exist? Or are we just spinning on a small planet, guided by random chance, with no ultimate purpose, no final meaning, and no lasting hope? Before you scroll away, just pause for a moment. This isn't about joining a religion or accepting a label. It's about truth. It's about evidence. It's about reason. And how you answer the question, does God exist, will shape how you answer every other question about your life. If God exists, then meaning is something we discover. If God does not exist, then meaning is something we struggle to invent. By the end of this video, you might feel the weight of that question more clearly, not because of pressure, but because truth naturally demands reflection. Our generation has been handed a narrative that claims science and faith are enemies. But what if that's not the full picture? What if the deeper you investigate reality, the more questions it raises? Real thinking doesn't fear questions. Real truth welcomes examination. Think about your own life. When you see injustice, you don't just shrug and say, well, that's just their opinion. Something inside you says, that's not right. That feeling points to something real, an inner awareness that right and wrong exists beyond personal preference. If morality is real, it must come from a source greater than humanity itself. Now, let's look at the universe. Modern science tells us that reality operates under incredibly precise laws. The expansion rate of the universe, the strength of gravity, the balance of fundamental forces, each one is calibrated with extraordinary precision. If you change any of them even slightly, life as we know it becomes impossible. No stars, no planets, no people asking questions. This kind of fine-tuning naturally leads to a question. Was this an accident, or was it intentional? And what about life itself? The DNA in every one of your cells is not just random noise. It's structured, ordered, and carries complex information, a biological language. In every other area of human experience, information points to intelligence. Codes have authors. Messages have senders. These observations don't prove everything, but they do open a door. They invite us to be curious. And once that door is open, a deeper question follows. If there is a creator, is he a distant, impersonal force, or is he someone we can actually know? This is where Jesus of Nazareth enters the conversation, not as a myth, but as a historical figure. Jesus is one of the most well-documented individuals of the ancient world. His existence is confirmed not just by Christian writings, but by Roman and Jewish historians from the 1st century. They acknowledged that he lived, taught publicly, and was executed under Roman authority. This is history, not legend. But Jesus didn't just present himself as a good teacher. He spoke with a unique authority. He forgave sins. He claimed a unity with God that shocked everyone who heard him. These were not safe claims. They were dangerous, and they ultimately led to his death on a cross. But after his crucifixion, something completely unexpected happened. His followers, who had scattered in fear, started claiming he was alive. Not just in spirit, or as a symbol, but physically resurrected. They said they had seen him, touched him, eaten with him, and spoken with him. The resurrection is the absolute center of the Christian faith. Even the earliest Christian leaders admitted that if the resurrection didn't happen, their entire message would collapse. So, what's the evidence? First, there was the empty tomb. Even the critics of Jesus didn't deny the tomb was empty. Instead, they tried to offer alternative explanations for it. Second, there was the eyewitness testimony. Early Christian writings list individuals and groups who claimed to have seen Jesus alive after his death. These accounts circulated while the witnesses were still living, which means they could have been questioned and fact-checked. And third, there was the transformation of the disciples. The same men who ran and hid after Jesus was arrested suddenly began speaking publicly, boldly, and consistently, even when faced with imprisonment, suffering, and death. People might die for a belief they think is true, but they rarely die for something they know is a lie. Christianity spread rapidly in an environment that was hostile to its message. It had no political power, no military backing, and no cultural advantage. It spread through testimony and conviction. You can't just dismiss Jesus casually. His life, his claims, and his impact demand a response. The question isn't whether he was a good moral teacher. He didn't leave that option on the table. The real question is, who did he claim to be? Now, one of the most honest and difficult questions anyone can ask is this: if God is good, why is there so much suffering in the world? This is a question that deserves a respectful answer. Interestingly, the very idea that suffering is wrong assumes there is a standard of what is right. If reality is just an accident, then pain is just a thing that happens. It has no moral weight. But we all instinctively feel that suffering is not the way things are supposed to be. Christian thought suggests that real love requires real freedom, and with freedom comes the possibility of making choices that cause harm. Much of the world's suffering flows from human choices, but the story doesn't end there. What makes the message of Jesus so unique is not that God avoids suffering, but that he enters into it. Jesus himself experienced betrayal, grief, rejection, and physical pain. He didn't remain distant from human struggle. He stepped right into the middle of it. This reframes suffering. It's not ignored, it's acknowledged. It's not meaningless. It becomes something God works within, not something he stands apart from. At the very heart of Christianity is not a message of self-improvement, but a message of grace. It's not about humans trying to climb their way up to a perfect God. It's about God reaching down to humanity. The message is that reconciliation is offered as a free gift. According to Christian belief, Jesus lived a life of perfect love and obedience, and then willingly accepted death in our place, offering forgiveness and restoration to anyone who would receive it. This removes the pressure to be perfect and replaces it with trust. Grace changes how people live, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Not out of obligation, but out of love. And importantly, this invitation fully respects your freedom. Faith can never be forced. Questions are welcome. Doubts are not a disqualifier. The search for truth is encouraged. Christianity doesn't start with try harder. It starts with come honestly. It's not about rituals. It's about renewal. It's not about perfection. It's about a relationship. So, here we are. Does God exist? Is Jesus who he claimed to be? These aren't just abstract philosophical questions. The answers shape how we understand love, purpose, suffering, and hope. Many people sense a deeper truth in quiet moments, in the beauty of nature, in their own conscience, in a deep longing for something more. These moments suggest that life is more than just survival. The choice is yours. It's not a choice to be rushed or forced, but one to be made honestly. If this message stirred something in you, feel the permission to seek, to ask, and to explore the truth without fear. Truth is never afraid of questions, and a genuine search is never wasted. You don't have to decide everything today, or silence all your doubts. But if truth exists, it's worth seeking. And if you keep searching honestly, you may just discover that you were never as alone as you thought you were. Thank you for watching.